The first thing you're going to need if you want to make highlight clips is a program called DaVinci Resolve. It's absolutely free, so just download and install that. Then you want to open a new project. In that project, you are going to need to change the resolution of it. So you want to go to project settings. In here, select 1920 by 1080 and then switch the numbers around. That will change it from landscape to vertical. I'm just going to copy and paste here. Then once you've done this, you only need to do that once for the project and you can just keep reusing this project. Then you just import your media that you want to chuck in, click and drag it to where you want to put it on this timeline. Then I'm just going to search through the clip by clicking and dragging across the top bit here to find the start and end of the bit I want to use. I'll drag it and that should cut it down to what I need. The end of the clip is a little bit more difficult. I'm going to have to search for the end of the bit I need and then use the magnet here and that will pull it to where that line is. I mean that it should trim it to the bit I need. Just zoom in on it. Let's just zoom in the transformation tab in the top right. And move it across to the thing we want to see. You just click and drag and it will do those. Like it'll do smaller numbers than it would otherwise. And yeah, make sure we frame it up at the start. I'm going to have it move throughout the thing, so it's going to have it follow him. So I'm just going to use some keyframes. That's what, if you click these grey buttons, they'll turn red. That tells you it's a keyframe. Then you just want to set some keyframes at the start. At the end of your sequence, you can use the arrow to jump to the next keyframe. And you'll see I'm just going to move it across and move it up, just so I can get to 2. And then you'll see it will slowly move between the 2. That's the simple tracking. Now we've done that, I want to slow down the catch. So I'm going to right click and go to retime controls. And then find the start, so the keyframe here, add a speed point. And then the second bit, I just change the speed to 50%. It'll make it half as fast. And it'll really slow down that catch. Then I'm going to trim the audio because the audio won't get slowed down. You want to do the retimings before you do any camera movements because it can mess those up, like timing wise. I'm just going to make the bit after the catch like back to normal speed so I don't have to deal with that. And then track the final frame and the first frame on it. So again, it's just the same as I did before, just tracking, moving, adding a keyframe. And you can see how it's smoothly transitioning between all of them, just making it really, really easy, really. And yeah, so that's the main clip sorted. Now we're going to do an optional thing that can make your footage look a little bit better, which is apply a LUT to it. So we're going to click clips and that will select the clip you need and then just find the LUT. If you hover over them, it will demo what that LUT looks like. It's just recoloring the image. You can find LUTs online if you just look up DaVinci LUTs if you need them. Then if you need to remove a LUT, just go on nodes, right click and then reset node grade. Another optional thing you can do if you want to keep view retention up is to have a transition from the end of the clip back to the beginning. So you just copy and paste the clip after itself, extend the beginning and then drag it so that it's cut off just before it starts. Then what we're going to do is add a transition to that. So I'm looking up flat left because he's moving to the right, so I can add a nice little left transition. Another thing you can do if you want to add text over the top is you can use the titles text, drag it onto a thing above your footage, and that'll mean it goes above it. Then just change the text to whatever you want in here. So I'm just going to put shoulder trap on 2 lines. Then once done that, just change the font to whatever you want. It will be whatever fonts you have installed on your computer. Change the line spacing because this font's a bit tall. Then if you highlight part of it, you can change the color of just that part, which is really useful. I tend to add some drop shadow as well behind it, just to make it pop from the footage. You can change how strong or like weak that drop shadow is to change how it looks. And then you move it around the same way you'd move the footage earlier. Where you want to put it will depend on the platform you're putting it on because they cover up different areas. Then you can have it fade in by dragging this little top bit. And then you just have it wherever you want it to be, at a point where it's not going to be distracted from the overall clip. And yeah, that's it really. Now you just need to get your footage from DaVinci Resolve to your video. So you want to click the rocket on the bottom right down here. This is your renderer. Change the file name. I tend to use stuff like Dodgeball, Sports, just because it helps with the algorithms because it's tagging it as that. Just pick where you want to save it on your account. Then add to render queue. It should already be set up. Click render all, and it will render it out for you wherever you set it up to go. And that's it. In the chat. This is what the final clip looks like. Then one additional thing you can do, if you need to zoom out so it doesn't fill the frame. It can look a bit weird with the black boxes. So if you copy and paste that bit of footage and then reset any of the zoom you have on it, just make it bigger so it will fill the frame behind it. And then I tend to add a filter and a box blur on top of it just to sort of make it a little bit easier to see what you want to be looking at.
In the chat already.
And that's it. I hope this helps.